Hello and welcome to Sarcastic Videos. Today we're going to be talking about Russell Peters' Almost Famous, a Netflix original comedy special. The show starts with a skit. It's about 3 minutes and it's a cartoon, and it kind of just goes through his life it shows it's very quick. It shows his parents meeting, having kids, his brother, then him getting older and getting into comedy and stuff like that. It just kind of goes by really quick. It's funny, it's interesting, but there's nothing too much about it. It's very fast little skits, and like I said, it's about 3 minutes, and then he comes out, and it's shot in his hometown. It's in Ontario, so that it's a hometown crowd. He said it's the first time he's been in Canada in 10 years, which was surprising to hear because he is Canadian. Right from the very beginning, he starts in with racial humor. That's kind of been his thing in the other specials that I've seen him in. He picks out a couple of Asian guys in the crowd, starts making fun of like the way they look, their names. Not in too mean a way, just kind of like the way you'd make fun of friends, but these aren't friends, these are audience members, so it depends on whether or not you like that kind of humor. For me, I'm not a big fan of, picking on people in the crowd. It just seems like, it just seems lowbrow. And and it makes people uncomfortable. Like, if you're one of those guys who gets picked on, you don't know whether you might be mad, but you don't want to show it because you're on TV and you're being taped, and everybody's looking at you. To me, that would be uncomfortable, and I'm not a big fan of comedians who put audience members on the spot like that. But everybody seemed to laugh. There were a few people who didn't. There was a couple of people actually that he called out, and he started conversations with them, but you can tell that they weren't having anything to do with it, and he moved on. So he starts making fun of the two Asian guys. He asks if there's any doctors in the audience, and then he talks about like how psychiatrists think they're real doctors, but if you had like a medical emergency, that's like the last thing you would want is a psychiatrist. He talks about wanting to be a break dancer when he was a kid, and this leads into jokes about how he would never want a doctor who didn't go through a lot to be a doctor, like not somebody who just did it because they couldn't have their other dreams come true. It was somebody who he would want somebody who really wanted to be a doctor. And his example was a black doctor, grew up from the streets and wouldn't put up with any BS as a doctor. It was a pretty funny skit. He talks about his family and the expectations. They didn't have high expectations because they could tell right away he was an idiot, which was funny. And he does have some good jokes about his family. Like they were blue collar workers, not professionals. His dad was, wanted him to get his first job as a baggage handler, and he was trying to sell it to him like it was the most exciting thing in the world. So that was funny. He talks more about his parents, having immigrant parents, and how cheap they were, and how he has to make up for that now that he has a kid. And he talks about like buying a big castle bed for his daughter because it's something that he wants for her. But it's also something she wanted. So that was funny, and not completely original. It's something you've heard before from any comedian that has immigrant parents. They always talk about something like that. And he has a little thing he does about calling tech support, and because they're outsourced to India, so anytime he calls them, they recognize his name immediately and start giving him lectures about how he makes fun of their accents and things like that. So that was funny. And he does some things about Russian accents and Canadian accents, makes fun of those for a bit. One of the big things he has near the end is he talks about sleeping next to a girl, and how when it's a guy, he'll put an effort into not waking her because guys really respect sleep. And he talks about how that's the main reason he's a comedian, is so he can sleep and only work an hour a day. So that was pretty funny. But then he goes through a whole skit of him getting up in the middle of the night and how much effort he puts into not waking his girlfriend, and then to compare, he shows how his girlfriend would get up in the middle of the night and make all the noise she wants and bring all this attention to herself. That was pretty funny. Overall, it's a funny show. There were some, again, like I said, there's some times he lost the audience when he would just pick out people and say, like, where are you from, start talking to them, and some of them wouldn't talk back, and he's picking out guys saying, hey, you're black, where are you from, and stuff like that, and the guy wouldn't say anything, and there were some uncomfortable moments, but he moved on quickly. But for me personally, that's not the kind of comedy I'm a big fan of. So if you like that kind of comedy, you'll probably rate it a little higher than I would. But for me, I would rate this a 7 out of 10. It's good. There were some good jokes, but it could have been better without the picking on people in the audience. And as far as Netflix goes, I'll give it a thumbs up. So that is Russell Peters' Almost Famous, Netflix original comedy special. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, or all of the above. Thank you, and have a nice day.